True resilience is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of wisdom gained from reflecting on how we've grown through every challenge. And that is the thought for today. Welcome to 7 Good Minutes. I'm Clyde Lee Dennis. Thanks for joining me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. In today's episode of 7 Good Minutes, we talk about building resilience through reflection and your daily practice for inner strength. Enjoy. There's a quiet strength that emerges when we learn to pause and look back at our experiences with intention. Not the kind of looking back that keeps us stuck in the past, but the kind that helps us understand how we've grown, what we've learned, and how we can move forward with greater wisdom. This is the power of reflective resilience. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how to use reflection as a daily practice for building unshakable inner strength and emotional resilience. Think about a time when you faced a significant challenge and came through it stronger than before. In that moment of difficulty, you might not have felt resilient at all. You might have felt overwhelmed, uncertain, or even defeated. But somewhere in the process of moving through that experience, something shifted. You discovered resources within yourself that you didn't know existed. You found ways to adapt, to cope, to keep going. This is where reflection becomes so valuable. When we take time to examine our experiences, especially the difficult ones, we begin to see patterns of strength and resilience that might otherwise go unnoticed. We start to recognize the strategies that worked, the mindsets that served us, and the inner resources we can call upon again. Reflective resilience isn't about dwelling on problems or rehashing painful memories. It's about mining your experiences for wisdom. It's about asking yourself questions like, how did I handle that situation? What did I learn about myself? What strengths did I discover? What would I do differently next time? The practice begins with creating regular space for reflection. This doesn't require hours of deep analysis. Even 5 minutes at the end of each day can be transformative. You might ask yourself what challenged you today and how you responded. What emotions came up, and how did you work with them? What small victories can you acknowledge, even if the day felt difficult overall? One of the most powerful aspects of reflective practice is that it helps you recognize your own resilience in action. Often we're so focused on what went wrong or what we could have done better that we miss the evidence of our own strength. Reflection helps you see that you've been resilient all along, even when it didn't feel that way in the moment. Building resilience through reflection also means learning to reframe your relationship with difficulty. Instead of seeing challenges as evidence that something is wrong with your life, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. This doesn't mean you welcome suffering, but it does mean you approach inevitable difficulties with curiosity rather than just resistance. The stories we tell ourselves about our experiences shape our sense of resilience. When you reflect on a challenging time and focus only on what went wrong, you reinforce a narrative of victimhood or inadequacy. But when you reflect with an eye toward growth and learning, you create a narrative of strength and capability. Consider keeping a simple reflection journal where you record not just what happened each day, but how you responded and what you learned. Over time, you'll begin to see patterns of resilience that you might not have noticed otherwise. You'll start to trust your ability to handle whatever comes your way because you'll have evidence of your own strength. Reflection also helps you prepare for future challenges. When you understand how you've successfully navigated difficulties in the past, you can draw on those same resources and strategies when new challenges arise. You develop a toolkit of resilience practices that are uniquely yours, tested through your own experience. Remember that building resilience isn't about becoming invulnerable or never feeling overwhelmed. It's about developing the confidence that you can work with whatever arises. It's about knowing that even when you feel knocked down, you have the inner resources to get back up, learn from the experience, and move forward with greater wisdom. The practice of reflective resilience is ultimately an act of self-compassion. It's about honoring your journey, acknowledging your growth, and trusting in your ability to continue evolving. It's about recognizing that every experience, even the difficult ones, contributes to the person you're becoming. As you move through your day today, notice the small ways you demonstrate resilience. Pay attention to how you adapt, how you problem solve, how you care for yourself when things get challenging. These moments of everyday resilience are the foundation of your inner strength, and reflection helps you recognize and build upon them. That does it for today's episode of 7 Good Minutes. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on the platform you're listening on. Until next time, let's be civil to one another out there. Thanks for listening.